It shall be our objective to examine the structure of the Book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ, and to show from the record itself, in the words of the ancient prophets, what purpose the Lord had for the preservation of the records. To present the Book of Mormon properly, one should know how it is put together and why it is structured the way it is. There's something of an obstacle which prevents most beginners from reading the entire book. Following this examination, we shall recommend a way for the Book of Mormon to be presented to others to overcome that obstacle. I have chosen as a title for this presentation, "The Things of My Soul," the source of which will emerge as we proceed. From the title page we read, "The Book of Mormon, an account written by the hand of Mormon upon plates, taken from the plates of Nephi, and that it was written by way of commandment, and also by the spirit of prophecy and of revelation." Notice the words commandment, prophecy, and revelation. And then this threefold statement of purpose. First, to show what great things the Lord hath done for their fathers. Second, that they may know the covenants of the Lord. And third, to the convincing of the Jew and Gentile that Jesus is the Christ, the eternal God, manifesting himself unto all nations. Of the many records and plates mentioned in the Book of Mormon, we will consider 5. First, the brass plates of Laban, which Lehi brought from Jerusalem. Second, the large plates, named the plates of Nephi, also referred to as the other plates. Third, the small plates of Nephi, which will be the center of our attention. Fourth, the 24 gold plates of the Jaredites. These plates were the source of the plates of Mormon from which Joseph Smith translated the Book of Mormon. First, the brass plates of Laban. When Nephi obtained these plates, he said, "It is wisdom in God that we should obtain these records, that we might preserve unto our children the language of our fathers, and also that we may preserve unto them the words of all the holy prophets which have been delivered unto them by the Spirit and power of God." Nephi found that they did contain the 5 books of Moses, which gave an account of the creation of the world and also of Adam and Eve, and also a record of the Jews from the beginning, even down to the commencement of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, and a genealogy of his fathers. Nephi said that the plates of brass were of great worth unto us, insomuch that we could preserve the commandments of the Lord unto our children. Lehi prophesied that these plates of brass should go forth unto all nations, kindreds, tongues, and people who were of his seed, and that they should never perish, neither should they be dimmed any more by time. 8 generations later, Lehi's descendants found the Mulekites, who also had come out of Jerusalem, and a profound lesson was taught. Because they had brought no records with them, their language had been corrupted, and they denied the being of their Creator. That corruption of the language was particularly sad, for there were records of metal and of stone which they could not read. Their leader, Zarahemla, was overjoyed to find that the Nephites had the brass plates. Mosiah caused that they should be taught his language, that they could receive the scriptures and their genealogies. Benjamin, prophet king, taught the value of sacred records, saying, "I would that ye should remember that were it not for these brass plates, which contain these records and these commandments, we must have suffered in ignorance, not knowing the mysteries of God." Were it not for these things which have been kept and preserved by the hand of God, that we might read and understand of his mysteries and have his commandments, we would have dwindled in unbelief. Then Benjamin bore testimony of the record. These sayings are true, and also that these records, the brass plates, are true. And behold also the plates of Nephi, which contain the records and saying of our fathers, are true, and we can know of their surety. The second record, the large plates of Nephi, Nephi also called mine other plates. They were largely a secular history handed down through the lineage of the kings. They are, for the most part, written in the third person. He wrote, "Upon these other plates should be engraven the account of the reign of kings and of wars and contention of my people." The large plates were many in number. In fact, there were many plates and records mentioned in the book which we do not now have. And now there are many records kept of the proceedings of this people by many of this people, which are particular and very large concerning them. Behold, there are many books and many records of every kind, and they have been kept chiefly by the Nephites, and they have been handed down from one generation to another by the Nephites. 6 times in his abridgment of these plates, Mormon repeats that he cannot write 100th part of what is in the records. We know also that they contain genealogies. Nephi faithfully kept the secular history on the large plates. Thereafter they were kept by the kings. No doubt they contained a great resource of historical information, but they were by no means the most valuable record, for Nephi was commanded to keep another account, not a secular history this time, but a record of their ministry, the small plates of Nephi. The purpose of the small plates was best explained when Nephi gave the record to his brother Jacob, for they were to remain with his seed. Notice that they are written in the first person. "And he gave me, Jacob, a commandment that I should write upon these small plates a few of the things which I considered to be most precious, that I should not touch, save it were lightly, concerning the history of this people. For he said that the history of this people should be engraven upon his other large plates, and that I should preserve these small plates and hand them down unto my seed from generation to generation. And if there were preaching which was sacred, or revelation which was great, or prophesying, that I should engraven them upon these small plates, and touch upon them as much as it were possible, for Christ's sake and for the sake of our people." Did you notice that he was not to touch, save it were lightly, on the history of the people, but he was to touch upon the sacred things as much as possible? Nephi made this clear statement on the relative value of the two histories. "It mattereth not to me that I am particular to give a full account of all the things of my father, for they cannot be written upon these small plates. For I desire the room that I may write of the things of God. For the fullness of mine intent is, that I may persuade men to come unto the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob, and be saved. Wherefore the things which are pleasing unto the world I do not write, but the things which are pleasing unto God and unto those who are not of the world. Wherefore I shall give commandment unto my seed, that they shall not occupy these plates with things which are not of worth unto the children of men. This I do, that the more sacred things may be kept for the knowledge of my people. I do not write anything upon plates, save it be that I think it be sacred." Again, notice why he did as he did. "I have received a commandment of the Lord, that I should make these plates for the special purpose that there should be an account engraven of the ministry of my people. Wherefore the Lord hath commanded me to make these plates for a wise purpose in him, which purpose I know not, but the Lord knoweth all things from the beginning. Wherefore he prepareth a way to accomplish all his works among the children of men. Then this verse, from which we take our title. And upon these small plates I write the things of my soul. And many of the scriptures which are engraven upon the plates of brass. For my soul delighteth in the scriptures, and my heart pondereth them, and writeth them for the learning and the profit of my children. Behold, my soul delighteth in the things of the Lord. For that very reason, Nephi copied the prophecies of Isaiah from the brass plates to his small plates. He wrote, Wherefore, I, Nephi, to be obedient to the commandments of the Lord, went and made these plates upon which I have engraven these things. And if my people are pleased with the things of God, they will be pleased with mine engravings which are upon these plates. After Nephi died, 8 others wrote upon the small plates. Nephi passed the plates to his brother Jacob, admonishing him, as already noted, not to touch, save it were lightly, upon the history of his people. But if there were preaching which was sacred, or revelation which was great, or prophesying, he should touch upon them as much as it were possible.